Hello, everyone. We'll begin shortly here. We're waiting for a few more to join us, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, it's a couple minutes past, so let's go ahead and get started. And as others join us, they can feel free to ask any questions they want to, and I'll be happy to catch them up on what they've missed. I'm Brandon Shadle, Graduate Enrollment Coordinator here at WallaWallaU University. And welcome to today's presentation, or tonight's presentation. We're here to talk about what to expect and how to prepare. Make sure you're prepared for fall quarter here as a graduate student at WWU. At any time during the presentation, if you have a question, you can ask it by typing it in the chat box, and we will get to all questions at the end of the presentation, which should take about 20 minutes or so. And if you'd like to download files that we'll be covering today, you can download them through the link in the panel on the right side of your screen. And let me go over and share that document just so that way you will have it. Okay, I'm sharing, so you should be able to download that now. Let's get started with the important first step, which is My WWU. You probably already had some interaction with this, but it's important to know, so I'm going to cover over it here, make sure everyone's on the same page. My WWU, or sometimes we call it MyWU for short, is our online student portal. This is where you can see your grades, your account balance, information about financial aid, and a record of account transactions. It's also a place where you begin financial clearance process and where you'll finalize registration. So it's kind of a central hub as a student here at WallaWallaU. Right now, the most important thing for you to watch for is your to-do list, which can be accessed through HighPoint or Student Center Classic, Student Service Center Classic. You can access this in MyWU, and it lists the things that you have left to do before the year begins. You can click on each item for more information. It usually gives a little snippet of what that item means and who to contact regarding it, and instructions how to complete the task. As soon as you are accepted, you should receive login instructions for My WWU sent to the email address we had on file, and you should have been asked in a little bit longer email somewhere in the middle of those paragraphs in that email to set a password. If you've never logged in before, you'll find it's easy. For most of you, your username will be your first last name and whatever password you choose. If you ever forget your password when you are trying to go to mywwu.wallawalla.edu, you can click in the upper right-hand corner, forgot password link, and follow those instructions. If you do have problems logging in, can't remember a password, never picked a password, you can also always contact computer support by phone or email. When you send them an email, include your name and WWU ID number, your phone number in case they need to call you. And for younger students that have parents helping, or those with very loving spouses that like help them through the way, computer support will typically only talk to students about their account. So if they need assistance, you do need to make sure that it's the student who is contacting them directly. All students are given a wallawalla.edu email address, and it's important you check it regularly. So setting up My WWU password will also be the same password and login for your email address. Once classes begin, this is the only email address the university will really send correspondence to. So one thing you might be seeing on your to-do list, if you've been in there at all, is financial clearance. If you haven't finished your financial aid application yet, it is free. So make sure to do that. You should do it immediately. Right now, we are able to respond to you with an award letter within a couple of days, so it's really fast. But as we get closer to school starting, delays will increase. And if you're missing anything, if we're missing anything from you or need additional verification, that will be on your to-do list. If you have questions about financial clearance, I recommend watching a recording of the presentation that happened, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago, covering financial clearance, and you can get that on the same webpage used to register for this, which is wallawalla.edu/workshops. And then there they covered everything in detail, but to quickly review, financial clearance is a process that all students go through each quarter. It checks to make sure that you've made your down payment, complete any necessary forms for financial aid. The process is open right now for fall quarter, so if you haven't completed it yet, now is a good time to do so. Pretty straightforward. Process shouldn't take much time. This is the first time for you. It may take a little bit longer as you're getting used to where things are. Most students will have loan forms to complete and permissions to review, but after you make your down payment, it's about a 90-second process. So after the painful money is gone, 90-second process. The deadline to complete financial clearance is always 4 p.m. on the Wednesday before classes begin, which is shown here as September 22. But please, if you can, don't wait that long to complete it. If you do not have financial clearance by then, you'll be dropped from classes, and you can know for sure that you're done with financial clearance when you see a bouncing Ben. As you see, nice little Benjamin there that's bouncing. We begin distributing financial aid during the 3rd week of the quarter. Some students may have borrowed additional money for living expenses and need access to that money. And if you're one of them, that's something that you'll handle during the financial clearance process. And I'm going to go through the questions that you'll be asked. In the presentation we did about financial clearance, talked about an envelope new students will be getting from Bank Mobile. That's the bank we use to disperse funds to students. So first, when you get the green envelope from Bank Mobile or emails they may send you, you want to log into the website and tell them how you want to get your funds. You can have them send a paper check. It does take a little bit longer. Deposit into existing bank account. That's probably one of the fastest, along with, or use a Bank Mobile checking account if you don't currently have one. Also, during financial clearance, on the permissions page, you can select when you want your funds sent, as soon as it's available at a specific time, or we can hold it until you request it. You will be asked if you want emergency draw, so you can get access to some funds immediately, and you're asked this regardless of how you answered the previous question. But you can get half of your projected credit up to 500 on the first day of classes. If you asked us to send your money as soon as it's available, that's all you need to do. If you told us you wanted to indicate a specific time, you'll be asked if you are ready to request funds and can specify amount and date during financial clearance. We can't send money before we receive it, so it's going to be sometime during the 3rd week of classes. In addition to this process, we also have a credit balance request form, just so you know, that is on the website and you can use to request funds from your account. I want to go over a few things that you make sure you should have completed right now, kind of 3 important ones. First, if you need to sign up for classes, don't have a class schedule, you should contact your advisor to finalize your academic plan. Once your plan is finalized for program of study, your advisor will send your academic plan to the Office of Graduate Studies and you will be enrolled in the classes. If you are accepted into the graduate program, number 2, with courses still in progress and have graduated, but you haven't sent or yet submitted final transcripts, do this as soon as possible. Without this, your loan disbursement could be affected and you may have difficulty completing financial clearance, which could result in you may be needing to pay out of pocket for at least a portion of the first quarter there. Number 3, you should double check to make sure there's no outstanding items or holds on your to-do list. Once you are enrolled, make sure that registration, finalization, including financial clearance, has been completed. Registration finalization is a process to ensure you've completed all the necessary items to be enrolled at WWU. You can complete this process through the Student Center in My WWU or MyWU. Registration finalization means all to-do items, holds, enrollment, and financial clearance have been completed. And when you finish with this process, you'll know you're done because you're seeing the jumping Einstein. During orientation, which for many of you may be on campus, but for some of you might be online or elsewhere. You'll have an opportunity to have your photo taken and ID card processed. which is through our IT department. If you're on one of the Montana campuses or would prefer to select your own photo, you can select a photo of your own and have that sent to IT and work with them. There's a form to get it submitted, so that way you can get an ID card. Or if you prefer and you're on Montana campuses, they can take your photo there and then send it over to get ID card sent back to the campus, which you can pick up on one of the following weeks when you are visiting campus again. ID cards are only validated for charging after registration has been finalized. So you can, at College Place campus, use it to charge for textbooks, at the Express, which is a cool restaurant, in our Shell gas station here, and a few other places. ID card process, like I said, handled through IT. There'll be more details coming for those who need ID cards or wish to have one. And like I said, you can submit a photo for review, have it accepted, and then IT can give you that ID card, which can be helpful if you're getting any student discounts, going to the movie theater or somewhere else that they might offer some discounts to students. It's helpful to have. Your WW ID card can be used at the cafeteria on the main place in Washington, the bookstore, the Express. Gives you access to the gym and the library, and many other things during certain hours. Also, you might be able to use it, like I said, at local businesses. Check with them if they offer a student discount. In College Place, Washington, main campus, we have a number of apartments for students as well as houses for families. So definitely check with our Village Housing office if you're curious about some of these. These are made available on first come, first served basis, and the process has already started. So definitely contact them as soon as possible if you might be interested. But if you have not made housing arrangements and would like to utilize university-owned housing to be able to charge to your student account, which is typically taken out bi-weekly, you can begin the process at wallawalla.edu/village, where you will complete an application and we'll add you to the wait list. And then they just start working their way down in order of people on that wait list. Whether you live on campus or not, you will automatically be included in a system called Omni Alert, which is our emergency campus alert system. And in an emergency, students will receive alerts via text and email. And in addition, our campus siren will sound for certain ones. Parents and spouses are able to opt in to receive these alerts as well. And they can provide their contact info at wallawalla.edu/Omni Alert. And they will receive the same messages as our students. While parents and spouses can elect to receive the information about emergency situations, there are some information we can't share, which is detailed here in the Ferpa, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This law applies to all areas of campus, but it is with finances that you most often run into this issue. We need your permission before we can talk to anyone else about your account. It's easy for you to grant permission on My WWU. You can tell us how we can talk, who can talk to, who should we mail a statement to, who we should send email reminders to, who we should not talk to as well. You can also choose to have statements mailed to multiple people, and you can authorize other users to see electronic statements. This is also why no one else can call to reset your password I mentioned earlier at IT. Because of Ferpa, computer support can only reset the password if you, the student, contacts them. Those are all the topics we plan to cover this evening. You can find a full list of steps to enrollment at wallawalla.edu/new steps. And I will put that in the chat here for everyone to see. And that will provide a structured summary of everything we've covered today, kind of give you a general outline of everything you should have taken care of. Click on the one for your student type. So most of you will be US graduate students, and you can click that to follow through the steps as you see the screenshot there on the slide. And you're always welcome to call me with any questions you may have along the way. I'd be happy to help. And I'm going to leave this up right now as we open for question and answer. So if you have any questions that haven't been answered, you're curious about, feel free to input them here. I also to leave up on this screen helpful contact information, our main toll-free line up at the top. So if you're just unsure who to go to, you can give them a call and ask your question. They can get you pointed to the right direction or transfer you to the right department. And then there's a list of other helpful information there on the page and phone numbers of places you may want to contact. So I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit as I wait for everyone to submit their questions. And do want to let people know if you have questions, make sure to navigate to the right side of the window and click the chat, the little kind of two-circle chat talking bubble icons. And then you can type in a comment or question there. When you hit send, it will go to me. All right, the first question I'm seeing here trickle in is, should I be registered for classes already? If you are accepted to a graduate program and haven't talked to your academic advisor, do that right away. A lot of our emails before school starts only go to enrolled students, and it likely went to your university email. So that's why it's important to set up that MyWU or MyWWU account. We encourage students to finalize the academic plan with their advisors as soon as possible, as soon as they're accepted into the graduate program. So make sure to both email and or call. And if you've tried that once or twice and it's been a little bit, haven't gotten any contact, or worried you're not getting a call back or contact from them, certainly just let me know. I'll get you connected and we'll get you squared away, make sure everything's finalized for you to begin classes with us. Well, that's a great question. Any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. All right, someone's asking what is needed for attending classes. They saw online a vaccination or exemption policy that might be is needed on their to-do list. So for those attending the College Place, Washington campus, if you'll be coming here or utilizing any facilities here, you will need to complete per our state guidelines that the governor's office and state health department have given us. We have to have a process in place for students to report their vaccination status or to complete a form for medical exemption, religious or philosophical exemption. It's a very easy form. I did it really quick in a minute or two. If you have a vaccination, you'll identify which one it is, the dates you received that or date you received that vaccine, and then you'll hit submit. You should get a confirmation that we received it, and then you'll get one kind of confirming that we have your vaccine status approved and marked. It only goes to a small select committee of that corresponds with our health department. So trust us, your information is kept secure, and only a very, very limited number of people can even see that information. As well, if you have a religious, medical, or philosophical exemption that you'd like to submit, medical ones would need or require some type of medical documentation, letter, email that you can kind of print into PDF to attach there as you submit it to us. And then you'll get a confirmation email that you submitted it, and then approval once we've gone through and registered that and marked it off that you've completed that on your file. So great question. And that's just for students on our College Place campus or accessing facilities here. All right, it's getting late here. The lights are shutting down. The next question is, what software will we use for online classes? And do we need a webcam or microphone? Are there going to be online classes? Yes, programs, even if like social work, the largest program, meeting here in person on Mondays, you will still need a working webcam and microphone, as there are some online courses and they might meet online. Taking courses online, we will use Microsoft suite of products. So Microsoft Teams will be the delivery. All your classes will automatically be loaded in there, so it's easy to share files with the class or classmates. It's a great way to start chats or connect with classmates via Teams as well. And a working webcam microphone are required. Most laptops have them. You can use your device really well, although accessing chat features or monitoring the chat while also being on your mobile device is a little bit of a challenge. You're gonna either choose to monitor the chat or to see yourself and others' video. But make sure if classes are listed online, if you're looking at classes and you'll see some listed as ARR online, that would mean that there's not a set time and day that classes meet. So just make sure to pay close attention to your syllabus and any posts or communication from the teacher about how that class will operate. All other classes will list the day and time, meaning you should be either in front of your device with internet, microphone, Microsoft Teams open and running during that time frame, or if it has a building location at that building and room when classes are taking place, unless the professor has something different listed for you to follow. Another question is, how do I get textbooks? Great question. Yes, you should be looking for textbooks if you have classes, even if you haven't finished all the other process yet, but you're committed to continuing here. Make sure to go to our college campus bookstore. You can view textbook information and make purchases through our campus bookstore, in person or online at it's https ://wallawalla.bincollege.com. That's because we do partner with Barnes & Noble, and I'll drop that link here in the chat for everyone to see. And that's where you can go to look up. That's our bookstore. You can find obviously apparel if you want to order university swag or gear. That'd be a great option to look at there. They have some cool stuff. And then you can click find textbooks and go through, list the courses that you're taking. It will alert you if some courses don't have any required textbooks. Awesome, you don't have to buy any for those. But ones that do will proceed through to the next screen and then give you the ISBN number, what our pricing is. I would say base most of your pricing off of what our bookstore listed as new price, because we don't always have very many or any of the used book prices. It's just kind of using a general Barnes & Noble used book pricing for that one. So just word of caution there. But great question. Any other questions? Let me know. All right, I don't see any more questions coming through. I will put my contact information here in the chat box. You can contact me at brandon.shadle@wallawalla.edu or 509-527-2290 is my phone number. But it looks like we answered all the questions. Thank you so much for watching this or attending the presentation. I hope it was helpful and that you feel prepared for starting your fall quarter at WallaWallaU University. If you missed any of the previous presentations and want to watch recordings online, go to wallawalla.edu/workshops. Financial clearance, residential housing, other important helpful information is listed there. We'd also love to get your feedback about today's presentation. So when we sign off, please take a moment to do a brief survey at wallawalla.edu/grad-comment, as listed here on the slide, to let us know what you think, what you thought, and what could make this presentation better in the future. If you think of something you forgot to ask, always give us a call. Graduate Studies is available at 509-527-2421 or email grad.studies@wallawalla.edu. And when in doubt, of course, feel free to reach out to me. Be happy to help you along. So big thank you to our viewers. We look forward to you being part of the WallaWalla Graduate Studies family this fall quarter. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.